What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into this. I'm not starting with no countdown today. I'm just getting right to it. This is why we do this, man. Over and over, we have told people, we've shown people, we made examples for people, and we keep going over narratives of people who don't seem to exhibit or practice the things that, I don't know, they should. But they want to be called journalists and claim that they're journalists, but they don't live by the journalistic code of morals, standards, and truth. They don't have these qualities. And this is why I can't see myself really having even a conversation with Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock, to me, is a complete disgrace. And the reason why it keeps going like this, of course, me and him both agree about Stephen A. Smith, but we're looking at it from two different lenses. He's looking at it because he actually was wanting to work with this man. And this man didn't like him. He wrote something bad about him behind his back and doing all these things. So he's shanked this man in the back. And because he was ostracized by them, he's got an axe to grind with the network, with them. So we're looking at it from two different lenses. I never wanted to work with Stephen A. Smith. Met him a couple of times, thought the man was cool. But then you start to see him, since he started doing this show, starting to show exactly who he is as a person. And his whole background has been falsified. And you start looking into his details of his career and start to see that it's fraudulent. Now, for this whole weekend, for the past 3-4 days, Jason Whitlock has been talking and praising Caitlin Clark. And that's his God-given right. It's not a offense to him praising Caitlin Clark. But this is where I find the hypocrisy is at an all-time high. When you look at situations such as this, we can officially quit putting Angel Reese on Caitlin Clark's level. Stop it. One is an all-time great player. The other one got famous for taunting. The rivalry is dead. This is coming from a man who claims to be a journalist. Now, granted, he can write. When I seen him, I read one of his articles before, and it was in depth. He's a better writer than Stephen A. I'll tell you that. But when you say stuff like this confirms everything I've ever said about him. Just this right here, this statement right here, that confirms everything you need to know about Jason Whitlock and what a hypocrite he is. Oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm getting a message. Okay. Now, here's the situation. Sorry, I had to take that call. Now, the situation is this. This man, Jason Whitlock, once again decides this statement is something that is rightful, that is just. Why is that? Why does he feel that that is the right and appropriate thing to say? Come on, Jason, talk to the people. Why do you feel that is so? A, a rivalry that you knew nothing about? A rivalry in a sport you don't even follow? How do you know there's a rivalry when you criticized it just a year ago? ESPN put that show down, the South Carolina versus Iowa with Caitlin Clark. They started off the show with that in mind, in tow. That's what they started the show with. He criticized it. This man, Jason Whitlock, criticized it. I like that statement. But yeah, he criticized it. Just a year ago, women basketball, period. He criticized it. Did you forget? You said that ESPN was showcasing women's sports for a feminist agenda. That was you. You said that when it was Caitlin Clark. Now she's an all-time great. In 1 year, what happened?
In the book of Genesis stands the test of time. ESPN spent the first 6 minutes of SportsCenter showcasing 2 women's college basketball games.
After all, this was
He's criticizing ESPN for showcasing 2 college basketball games with Iowa, and Caitlin Clark is one of those players. But she's an all-time great. And you're complaining they're trying to appease feminism. Now, today, on April 1st, rather, she's an all-time great. What happened, Whitlock? What happened? Why don't you tell the people the real? Tell them what really happened. What really happened is that your white conservatives that follow you, that's going around and they're using Caitlin Clark for their political racist agenda, they started to praise her and put their arm around her and said, "This is our girl. She's against the status quo." This is our good girl. She's better than all of them. And they're sitting there, instead of watching 2 basketball teams play each other, they're sitting there competing and pitting white against black. And of course, we know which side Whitlock was going for. He ran right over there and changed his whole tune on Caitlin Clark and women's basketball just so he can push an agenda to attack Angel Reese, the black player, for white conservatives. This is why me and this man don't need to speak. Because there's nothing to say. There is nothing left to say to a man like that. You clearly did a complete 180. I thought it was about the feminists. They're trying to appease the feminists. That's the only reason they're showing and promoting women's basketball and women's sports. Now, she's an all-town talent because you don't like Angel Reese. You found a new black athlete to attack. You had Deion Sanders, a black coach in Colorado. You was mad he was getting attention because the conservatives were mad. So now you're mad, and you're going to use that to get ratings, and you're going to milk it and ride that cow and then jump over to another. But you're a journalist. I don't understand it. Because a journalist would understand and know that you don't put out statements that just don't make any sense. Absolutely, fellas. Listen, let's check this out. Here he goes. ESPN Sports Center just led tonight's episode with two stories on women college basketball. The first 6 minutes, a regular season Big Ten and an SEC game. Who is paying for this? What percentage of sports fans does this serve? Now, this was just a year ago, January of 2023. Caitlin Clark was Caitlin Clark last year. You wasn't talking about Caitlin Clark. You was taking a dump on the complete women's basketball period, calling it all a feminist movement. ESPN serves feminists anytime, anywhere was your title. That was your title. So it's quite obvious you don't have a grip on anything that's going on that's revolving around the world. Right? I didn't agree with her crying, but you can't take away what Angel Reese is as a player because you don't like what she said at a podium or did or whatever. So it's egregious. And when you try to minimize a black player to promote a white player when you don't follow any of it, that's the hypocrisy. That's what I'm talking about. Because you posted this. You did that, Jason Whitlock. You said we can officially quit putting Angel Reese on Caitlin Clark's level. Stop it. One is an all-time great player. The other one got famous for taunting. The rivalry is dead. Got famous for taunting. She got villainized for taunting. And all she was doing was taunting back because Caitlin Clark was doing that throughout the tournament. But you would know if you was watching the tournament. So they couldn't wait to stick it back to her. That's just basketball. But when white conservatives who weren't even paying no attention to women's basketball or Caitlin Clark, now all of a sudden has grabbed on to her and said, yeah, we're going to ride her, good girl. And poor Caitlin Clark, she's being used. Their people are using her to fight their war in political battles unless this means something outside of basketball. Trying to pit two athletes against each other. It's sick. And all these racist conservatives who don't even watch college basketball is using this as their way to say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The good girl. Caitlin Clark can ball. She can hoop. No one ever said she couldn't. And she was better than the girl that was guarding her. Light years better. This isn't even the point. What I don't understand, and I don't really care about any of the stuff that they were saying, here's the thing that bothers me. This man says that she's got famous for taunting. So the rivalry is dead. Wow. That's crazy to me because Angel Reese dominated every category a year ago, and this year she was the SEC Player of the Year. So what is Whitlock talking about? Comparing two women players in a game is racist now. No, no one's comparing two women playing basketball against each other. They're not doing that. What they're doing is using it as a catalyst to promote their agenda. Conservatives are using Caitlin Clark not about how she played in the game. They're using her as the agenda to go up against this thugged out, hood driven LSU. They're ghetto. Caitlin's the good girl. They have embraced her into this atmosphere that Caitlin Clark is not even in. She doesn't participate in that. They're trying to build something around her that's not even her. You got all these doggone Marsets and everybody else at the game. All these elitists, conservatives there rooting her on. Come on, Caitlin! They didn't care anything about women's basketball just a year ago. Once they saw her wave her hand in front of her face, how dare a black woman do that to that little innocent white girl? That's classless. Because they weren't watching the rest of the game. They didn't see Caitlin do the same thing to another girl. They didn't see that. They didn't want to see it. But you wanted to take away all of her accomplishments by saying all she did was taunt somebody. That's what the white conservatives say. That's what makes you, and you're a journalist. You should know better. You call yourself a journalist. You should know better, Whitlock. She won a national championship in 2023. 2023 tournament MVP. 2024 player of the year. That's this year. Two-time All SEC. Set the NCAA single season double record. SEC single season rebounding record. LSU single game rebounding record. But yet, she's just a girl that tongues. From a guy who's supposed to be a journalist, who raves about being a great investigative reporting journalist. A guy who used my information that I sent on an email so that he could use against Stephen A. and gives me no credit for it whatsoever. He acted as if it came from him. That's this guy. The man never even mentioned Coach Gaines, his book, at all until he got my information. I sent him an email because we had a common problem with Stephen A. Smith. So I said, well, let me get his bastard a chance and let me go on here and give him this information, even though I think he's a piece of it. So that's what I did. In his imperious ways, he act like it all came from him when he did his video. Then acts like I just attack him, because I guess he thinks it gives me views. I love when people don't know what the hell they talk about and they start talking like they're bigger than. No, I don't want. No, I don't want Netflix. Now, my name was mentioned on the show because KB brought it up.
I don't think he has any qualifications.
And then you can see the reason why he can exist. So what that
He said, let's go shopping. Obviously, I know he's involved with all. We have to vote.
who's anything in music is white.
With Diddy, we know the allegations. With Joe Biden, his daughter has said, the whole thing just looks like a sex cult, a pedophile sex cult. And if you're not involved in that, you can't be empowered.
I mean, that's what it seems like to me. Carcino for life. Shout out to Carcino. He talked about who all controls the music industry. And I will have to say on that part, Kanye was right. Everybody from who's anything in music is white. And then Carcino added another part to it. They're white and a part of the LGBT community. So is that the reason why they have most of the women so hypersexual? Because that's not going to lead to relationships. And they have most of the men extra effeminate because it's confusing.
Brown, your boy Carcinio, I know he likes to criticize me. Carcinio, keep going at it, brother. Brown, your boy Carcinio, I know he likes to criticize me.
Oh,
Carcinio, keep
Carcino
going
be on
at
your
it, brother.
head, boy.
Yeah. Keep going, Carcinio. I couldn't care
I think
less.
y'all need to have
As
a
long as
conversation because I think y'all wits will match up well. I think y'all should have a conversation.
yeah, he needs to let it go, but I couldn't care less. As long as his instincts are good and he's around, your boy Carcinio, I know he likes to criticize.
First is Carcino, not Carcinio. Okay, I'm not Carcinio Hall. It's Carcino. It's real easy. He said, I get what you're saying, but if Angel didn't play the victim and make it about herself, it wouldn't be so easy right now. She's sexualized herself. This is not about that. This has nothing to do with what she did at a podium. Why is everybody making that about that? Y'all didn't like her before the game. Y'all didn't like her during the game. Y'all didn't like her, so y'all, no matter what she did, when she hugged and embraced Caitlin Clark, none of y'all promoted that. That they hugged, got in the line, they congratulated everybody, they hugged, and they kept it moving, and that was it. Y'all never even promoted that. Y'all were looking for an angle to hate on that girl. Like she's been getting all year long death threats. Since the moment she did that taunt, they've been attacking her. Now, let's go back to Whitlock here, addressing me, saying I needs to let it go. Do you think I'm just sitting here blindly attacking you? Do you think I'm sitting here blindly attacking you, dude? Or am I calling you out on your bullshit? Of course. I'm calling him out on his bullshit. That's what you do. You call somebody out when they doing bullshit. And that's exactly what we are addressing. Your problem is you want me to just let it go because you don't like when I flash a flashlight on all your hypocrisy and how you're curtailing everything that you do for them white folks, for the people that don't even like you. But they love it because your chocolate face can go out there and say those things they can't say. That's the only reason they got you there on that platform. That's it. You gonna say what they want to say out their racist mouth, but they gonna get called racist for saying it. But you chocolate face, so you can say it. Go ahead, chocolate face. Go on and tell it. See, he's curtailed to an agenda. That's why he was not talking about women's basketball in any light except for negative. It's feminist. Oh, it's a feminist agenda. Now he ain't calling it a feminist agenda. Why it ain't a feminist agenda no more? What happened? Oh, Caitlin Clark is liked by the conservatives now. We can't talk about our dear Caitlin. Now she's an all-time great. When you ain't know who the hell she was a year ago. Mm-hmm. Right. Buck dancing. Just got caught up another time. He just got caught up again. and then tried to minimize her by saying she's only famous for taunting. Angel Reese is only famous for taunting. Black people have selective outrage. I think everybody has selective outrage, right? Conservatives claim that they care about people, right? They care about human lives. Their all lives matter, remember? Their all lives matter, but they don't seem to show that they care about all lives, do they? Right. Now all of a sudden he's pro Caitlin Clark. Oh, that woman. And I feel bad for Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark has nothing to do with this. Absolutely zero. These fools are trying to come in and capitalize off of her and turn her into the capital, like she is going to lead the doggone alt-right movement, when that is not her agenda. She's a ball player. She hoops. That's what she does. She can ball. You don't have to like Angel Reese. Nobody's asking you to like her as a basketball player, but to deny her talent as a basketball player. You don't have to like her attitude. If you say, I don't like her attitude, fine. You don't have to. That's the thing. You don't have to like anybody's attitude. But you can't say what they did on the court ain't impactful. And what they doing, you can't just discredit and take away everything that they've done without some sort of reason. She really shouldn't have even been playing in the game. To be honest, her ankle was messed up. She was playing on one foot. Her ankle was messed up in the conference finals. So she couldn't even be as effective as she normally is, and had 20 rebounds. And she had like 19 and 20 rebounds in the game. She chose to play. Nobody's talking about that. Because this is the storyline they wanted. This was Cinderella. They had their white Cinderella, Caitlin Clark, with the evil stepmother, with old Malarkey, the LSU coaches, the wicked aunties, and her daughters. And Cinderella comes in to the ball. That's why she was SEC's Player of the Year. But Whitlock just said she's famous for taunting. So Cinderella, who was treated so rudely by those LSU people, they waved their hands in her face, made fun of her. That poor woman, they did this in front of her face. They taunted Cinderella, but now she's got to the ball. And she beat her wicked auntie, horrible stepmother, and her daughters. And now she gets to go to the prom, to the dance with her prince. Now you see how that quick that storyline was made. You see how quick that was? Because that's what they're doing. They're playing the swan song. Putting two different cultures against each other. Iowa is not like Louisiana. They're culturally different. The white girls that go to Louisiana, they in there twerking on videos. Is what they do. But the girl is like 18 years old. You got grown dudes that's like, yeah, man, I give it to Haley. I'll be like, dog. This girl's like 19 years old, man. Y'all gotta chill. But this is the problem. Why is he doing better than me in life? How would you say he's doing better than me in life? Do you know me in life? Do you know him in life? What makes you think he's doing better than me? I think I'm doing quite well for myself. I think the neighborhood I live in is pretty quaint. It's just that's the only way y'all. Wow, we're back. Woo! Back at it. Thank y'all for those who remain. Let me explain to you what happened. Well, the word is real clear. Now, what happened was clear. I wouldn't call it sabotage. What I would call it is no. This had nothing to do with them. There was a power surge that went on through the entire neighborhood. Right now, we're having like it's snowing here and it's windy as hell, and the power just like the lights, everything said. Psst. I said, "Whoa!" And it came back on, and the Wi-Fi server, everything was down, so it had to reboot again. So that wasn't on them. So they innocent on this one. Caitlyn is a hooper. Caitlyn, no championship, Clark. Well, USC is out, which helps them because USC would have gave them fits. Because if she had to go up against Juju, that would have been something, not so good for her. Well, if Caitlin Clark doesn't win a championship, they're gonna put a highlight and an asterisk by Caitlin Clark. You know, she just eliminated the defending champions. Had a crushing performance, but if she doesn't win a national championship, this is going to be a stain on her record because in not winning a championship, she's getting more praise than Angel Reese. Oh, absolutely. Only Jason Whitlock had a complaint. And this is why I don't like him. Because I don't feel he's his own man. He's a puppet to me. And not a good one. You can't say you're for black people and you never do anything for black people. Well, see, the thing is I stand on what I say. I don't say something because an agenda backs it. I don't say something because a whole group of people is saying it. So now I got to say it. I got to find an angle to say it with them because all of my conservative brothers are going in this direction. So I got to go in this direction. Now, look at this. This man was mad because when she won the championship, right, last year, the endorsements, everything was coming her way. And her NIL put her at 1.8 million. That's what she was valued at. 1.8 million. What's up? New Zealand in the house. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate all of you. Now, all the praise came from where? The people they call ghetto and everything else, but they willing to put her valuation at 1.8 million, right? For an arrogant person. Angel Reese is arrogant in victory. Who wasn't arrogant in victory? Larry Bird was arrogant in victory. Michael Jordan was arrogant. Kobe Bryant, all of these people who were champions were very arrogant. They were very confident when they won. It's confident when you're white, arrogant when you're black. Right? It's like the wide receiver who's black and the quarterback who's white. The white quarterback is trying to inspire the team when he's yelling at the players. The black running back is yelling at the quarterback. He's trying to show up the quarterback. He's trying to make it all about him. The double standard. We don't make it about race. They make it about race. This was a game of two basketball players. It was about basketball. We kept it about basketball. They made it about race. When it's really about culture. They're just from two different worlds of culture. But when you get around each other and you talk and communicate, that's how people break those barriers down. The outside world, the media, keep making this. No, she's not making it about race when she's speaking on what's actually happening. If people sending her death threat, calling her the N-word, and everywhere she's going, she's getting all this hate from these right-wing conservative people because they don't like what she did to Caitlin Clark last year. She's speaking on what she's been going through in the whole year. I don't think that's using race. They chose race. They chose hate. She's responding to it. When do we criticize a woman for speaking about how she feels? A black woman at that. When we start criticizing that, talking about what she had to deal with throughout the whole season. As a black man, you should automatically know better, Jason Whitlock. As a black man, you should already, your blackness should know what she's talking about, what she said, what she had to go through. Can you even imagine what the emails and death threats are like to her? If it's just basketball, you say that to the racist people that sit in the death threats. You try getting death threats by racist white people. And see how you like it. See how comfortable you feel. And they get a good old chocolate face like Whitlock to pass the agenda, to pass the message along. I'm not saying she should have went on there and cried, but I can't tell a black woman who has dealt with what she had to deal with for an entire year how she should be feeling about it. I have no right. I have no right to tell this black woman how she should be feeling. I have no right to tell this black woman she can't express her displeasures and let loose all the stress she's been holding in all season while dealing with this. Because it didn't happen until they won. Lorenzo. She ain't saying none of that when her team was winning because the hate didn't come to after they won. Lorenzo. She didn't mention all of it to the end of the season because she's not going to let that taint the entire season. What you want her to say it right before the game? So that could be all the attention and what everything is about. And they say, man, why would you distract the rest of the teammates? They got to deal with what happening with you right before the game. So when was the right time for her to bring it up? She did it at the end of the season. Don't say it at all. Just keep dealing with racist threats. To somebody to somebody harm her, and then y'all gonna still blame and act her for it. She doesn't have to bring. Who are you to tell a black woman she don't have to talk about how she's been treated? What kind of people are y'all? Y'all must not be black. So a black woman got to suffer in silence. How's it disingenuous? Because you did it after a loss on the podium. That's exactly where you do it at. Where is she supposed to do it? On social media? No matter where she did it, y'all was going to hate on her anyway. Y'all was hating on her, period. All the people who got a problem with it is people that was hating her anyway. Paul, what are you talking about? You find it funny she didn't say nothing until she could play the victim. I don't see nothing funny about a black woman saying she's gotten death threats. What's funny about that? I don't see nothing funny about racist white people threatening to take the life of Angel Reese because she won a basketball game and she waved her hand in front of a girl. The slanderous media that came after her every game, all season. She didn't even have a chance to really enjoy the championship because it was marred all by all these people didn't like her attitude. I don't like the way she is. She too cocky. I don't like her attitude. So they decided ever since then, look what she did to that poor little white girl. So they made it about race. They made it about basketball. Angel Reese was doing that about to her because Caitlin Clark was doing it. But y'all didn't care when Caitlin did it. Y'all cared what Angel Reese did. And there's nothing funny about a black woman saying that she's receiving death threats from racist white men, and black men are sitting here talking about she should just shut up. That's the problem, more than anything. You playing the victim. She is a victim. So how's she playing one? When was she supposed to say it, Paul? Paul, when was she supposed to say it? Before a game or after the season's over? So if we're going to tell a black woman when she can come out and talk about all the stuff that's been happening with her. So now, when a white girl comes out and talk about how they've been treated and they got her tears, we tell them, well, this is an opportune time. Why are you mentioning this? Why don't you just be quiet? You should have just shut up. We don't say that at all. Just congratulate. She congratulated the other team. She spoke about the media, the threats, everything she's been going through for the whole year. Because, Connie, she's not trying to take away from the team. If she'd have brought this up during the season, it's all the media would have been talking about all season long. Stop acting like y'all are dumb. I hate responses that's dumb. Y'all are not dumb. Stop acting dumb. What would happen if this woman bring this stuff up in the season? Media gonna write about it, saying she crying. They gonna take it out on the team, and the team got to deal with the distraction all season long. She took away from the team when she got suspended. Oh, please, come on, stop. Y'all, now, if you don't like Angel Reese, just say, I don't like Angel Reese. That's all you got to say. Because it don't make no sense. You ain't got to buy it. Nobody's selling it to you. It's what happened. What you want her to do, present the hate mails that she got? Do you doubt that racist white men, racist white conservative men were sending emails and messages to this woman? You doubt that? You think she made it up? You think she just went out there and made up the fact that she is getting death threats? First off, she didn't lose fair and square. They lost, but it wasn't fair and square. Now, I can't sit here and tell that lie. She didn't lose fair and square. They got jobbed. They made her a villain in the media. So she has no choice but to embrace the villain role. What's she supposed to do? Show the world she gonna go in a ball and cry? I've never seen a black woman be villainized by black people. It's a shame. I expect this from racist white people because that's what they do. They're being consistent with what they are. But when you have no solace in your own people, it's a telling of how far we are as far as a people. We are not connected anymore whatsoever. We're done. Yep, some of us don't come from bootlickers. It doesn't matter if the female is black or white. Men can play victim role like women can. What do you mean? She's playing the victim. She is a victim. So you saying a woman is supposed to act like a man? Is that what you saying? She is a woman. Y'all don't know what she's been dealing with all season long. And then y'all like, well, she waited till now she want to talk about it. I'm like, it's the end of the season. The media, all them half of the people that's been writing terrible things about her all season long for no reason, they're right there. She told the world, and then y'all want to villainize her for doing it. Oh, so now she's lying. What makes you think the black woman is lying? So the black woman is lying now. So if Angel Reese was lying about getting death threats, do you know that the school would do an investigation? Caitlin Clark is a victim. You're absolutely right. She is a victim. Caitlin Clark is a victim. And so is Angel Reese. They're all victims to this sick world of media coverage. They're promoting this as a race battle more than LSU versus Iowa. They turned this into a race issue because they come from two different cultures. Angel Reese's culture is from Louisiana. Like they down there in Louisiana, that's where their culture is at. It's entirely different from hers in Iowa. Makes not one right and the other one is. But he always got something to say about a black woman or a black man doing anything that goes against the conservative white agenda. Now you criticize her getting a $1.8 million valuation. Now you got black people in here caping and capping for the doggone white folks and shaming a black woman. Exactly what they want y'all to do. Wrong attitude, Corey. If you can't handle death threats and being called the N-word, then you need to find another career. Nah, bro. It ain't that at all. If I'm getting death threats and I'm getting called the N-word in my profession and everything else, it ain't about handling it. I'm going to handle it. Let's meet up. Let's get it cracking. You must have just got here, Chase. That's what we've been talking about for the past 25, 30 minutes. We've been sitting here talking about white men sending threats to Angel Reese. And people in here talking about she can't talk about it. Mm-hmm. Yep. They don't seem to possess that same energy. But I'm gonna go ahead and get everything started because this wasn't even supposed to be the video. So Whitlock, this is why me and you don't talk. So it ain't about no hating on you. We just tell the truth. You're a hypocrite in the worst way.
I appreciate it. People criticize me for when you 3-4 years ago when you were going off. I was like, this dude's important. He's not saying everything perfectly, but this dude's instincts are incredible, and what he's actually standing for, and how he's uh, uh, moving the Overton window, widening the Overton window, allowing us to talk about things that we're not supposed to talk about. It's all important. And now to come back 3-4 years later and to see you completely vindicated, I actually feel good. And just like I told you the first time we had you on, I could care. If I ever do something wrong and Kwame wants to criticize me, it ain't gonna change a word I think about Kwame Brown. Your boy Carcinio, I know he likes to criticize me. Carcinio, keep
Carcino
going
be on
at
your
it, brother.
head, boy.
Yeah, keep going, Carcinio. I couldn't care
I think
less.
y'all need to have
As
a
long as
conversation because I think y'all wits will match up well. I think y'all should have a conversation.
Yeah, he needs to let it go, but I couldn't care less. As long as his instincts are good and he's trying to promote something positive, I couldn't care less. I'm just not that important. So thank you, Kwame. Enjoy the rest of your vacation. Thanks for making the time for us.
Thanks for having me.
You right. It's the Carcinio Hall Show. You right. This rib eating bastard was right. This rib eating bastard was right. You are not important. You are not important. You are absolutely correct. You are not important, sir. Like he said, keep going at it, boy. Yeah. If I was to talk to him, like he said, he wanted it on a positive level. Oh, it'll be positive. Because I'm going to call you everything besides the name of God. You finna get the wrath of everything coming your way. He gonna get the wrath. Man, it's gonna be the rapture coming towards him. He ain't gonna be wanting that. He know it's coming. He don't want that at all. No, man, long as it's on something positive. It's gonna be positive. Exposing your ass is very positive. Dragging your ass through the light. I'll be like, why are you sitting here running around kissing up to white conservatives? Can you explain that? Oh, I would love to explain. I'll be like, how do you go from a year ago criticizing ESPN for showing women basketball, for highlighting women basketball a year ago because they were promoting feminism? And it was Caitlin Clark. And now, today, she's an all-American hero. She's an all-time great. How she know? You was just saying it was feminism just a year ago. What changed? Oh, the white conservatives then grabbed a hold of Caitlin Clark and started promoting her. And that's not even Caitlin Clark's agenda. She's not a part of no doggone white conservative movement. They're just trying to use her as the vehicle to push their agenda. Yep. So Whitlock, you're right. You're not that important. I'm gonna keep on doing it, like you said. Keep going, man. Keep going doing your thing. Yep, I'm gonna keep on exposing your fat ass. I'm gonna chop a piece of goddamn steak off your back. Throw it on the grill. Right. They ain't got respect for each other. They ball players. The media don't want to show that. They didn't want to show them embrace. They want the drama. Like they say, they want the smoke. When a black woman says she been threatened by racist white men, we saying she black people talking about she playing the victim. I just don't see that as funny. I don't see that as even what black men should be doing. Period. We don't identify with that. We don't have a problem with that. You doubt she got racist emails and threats and the media hating on her all year? You don't think so? You think that's part of an imagination and y'all victim blame her? She's playing the victim. Why didn't she say that earlier? Yeah, that's what it is. No, see, you got to put it the right way. Racist white folks was mad she beat that LSU beat them last year, and she waved her hand in front of her, and they were very unapologetic about whooping their ass. Caitlin Clark didn't even win the national championship. Iowa didn't even win the national championship yet, and already she's getting more love than Angel Reese when they won it. I don't hate Caitlin Clark one bit. Caitlin Clark is a great basketball player. To all you guys, thanks for hanging in. The power is terrible. I had to go on my mobile. It's back up now. The servers are back up, but still, we're having power outages because it's super windy over here. We got snowstorm, hailstorm, everything going on out here right now. So thank y'all. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life, Ticket TV, The Dreamers Pro. Welcome to HDII TV, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, Armando Black TV, the real Black Hope. So yeah, I had to go live on the mobile. Okay, yeah, it's back up now. But I'm not gonna go set this thing back up again so it can get knocked down. Yes, the weather don't know what it want to do. So the high winds is crazy out here right now. So we keep having these power surges, and I keep knocking off my Wi-Fi. So I might have to be down for a minute. This is getting to be a problem. All right, I'm holler. Deuces.